Level 1. The Press Gang Landsman. The stench of bile and rotting bilge water is your new reality, the suffocating fog that clings to the back of your throat. You aren't here by choice. The shilling was slipped into your drink in a Tortuga tavern, and you woke up in the bowels of a brigantine with a knot on your head the size of a gull's egg. You are at the absolute bottom of the articles, a landsman, a pair of hands meant only for the heavy, mindless lifting that keeps the ship from splintering. Your palms are already weeping, the skin shredded by the abrasive hemp of the anchor cables, and every time the bosun's rattan cane cracks across your shoulders, you lose a bit more of your former identity. You eat burgoo, a gray salty porridge often moving with weevils, while the veterans eye your boots, waiting for you to slip from the rigging so they can claim them. There is no glory here, only the constant, rhythmic thud of the hull against the swells and the terrifying realization that 40% of men in your position won't survive the first 3 months of the Caribbean hurricane season. Level 2. The Powder Monkey. Imagine the world shrinking down to a dark, sulfurous tunnel, where the only light is the orange flash of a 24-pounder cannon recoiling like a cornered beast. You have survived the first storms, and now you are a powder monkey, a job for the fast, the small, and the desperate. Your skin is permanently stained charcoal gray from the fine dust of the black powder you carry in leather cartridges from the magazine to the gun deck. The noise is a physical assault. Every broadside feels like a hammer blow to your skull, leaving a permanent ringing that drowns out the screams of the wounded. You run barefoot over decks slick with a mixture of seawater, sand, and human copper-tasting blood, terrified that a single spark will turn you into a human torch. The statistics of your survival are grim. In a heated engagement, a powder boy's life expectancy is measured in minutes if the hull is breached by chain shot. You learn to sleep standing up and to cherish the 5 minutes of bumbo, a lethal mix of rum, water, and nutmeg that numbs the terror of the next engagement. Level 3. The Able Seaman. You finally have sea legs, but they are scarred and bowed from years of balancing on a swinging yardarm 60 feet above a churning abyss. As an able seaman, you are the backbone of the code, a man who knows every one of the 200 ropes on a 3-masted ship by touch in the dead of night. Your world is defined by the salt crust on your eyelashes and the calloused hardness of your hands, which have become hook-like tools for reefing canvas in a gale. You now have a vote in the ship's council, a small democratic spark in a world of absolute monarchs, and your share of the loot is a full one. You've seen the Spanish Main not as a map, but as a series of jagged coastlines and deceptive reefs. You carry a folding clasp knife and a pipe filled with harsh, cheap tobacco, the smoke of which is the only thing that masks the smell of the salt horse beef that's been in the barrel for 2 years. You are no longer a victim of the sea. You are its inhabitant, a professional predator who calculates the wind's speed by the whistle through the shrouds. Level for the Master Gunner. Silence falls when you walk onto the gun deck. For you are the mathematician of death, the man who turns a chaotic heap of iron and wood into a precision instrument of destruction. Being the master gunner means you don't just fire the cannons. You know the exact weight of the 12, 18, and 24-pound balls, the moisture content of the powder, and the precise degree of windage needed to dismast a fleeing merchantman at 300 yards. You live in a world of geometric angles and chemical volatile mixtures, your ears nearly deaf, but your eyes sharp enough to spot a sail on the horizon before the lookout bellows. Your status is cemented by the silver-mounted tinderbox at your belt and the fact that the crew looks to you during the deadly dance. If you miss, the prey escapes and the crew starves. If you hit, you are showered in a 1.5 share of the plunder. You smell of saltpeter and burnt wool, and you possess a grim satisfaction knowing that one well-placed star shot from your favorite gun can turn a proud vessel into a floating graveyard in seconds. Level 5. The Quartermaster. You are the voice of the crew, the elected guardian of the pirate code and the only man on the ship who can tell the captain to shut his mouth during a feast. As quartermaster, your role is more political than nautical. You are the judge, the paymaster, and the quartermaster of souls. You manage the Lazarus Fund, the insurance for men who lose limbs, 600 pieces of 8 for a right arm, 500 for a left. You are the one who stands first on the deck of a boarded prize, not to kill, but to ensure the loot is inventoried down to the last silk ribbon and silver spoon. There is a cold, bureaucratic weight to your authority. You carry the articles signed in blood or ink, and you dispense the lashes for those who break them. Your cabin is filled with ledgers, scales for weighing gold dust, and a brace of high-quality pistols. You are the check against tyranny, the man who ensures that no pay remains the holy law of the ship, and your cut is a solid 2 shares, reflecting the massive burden of keeping 100 cutthroats from murdering each other. Level 6, the First Mate. High-octane tension is your constant companion, as you are the bridge between the captain's obsession and the crew's survival. As First Mate, you are the master of logistics and the enforcer of the captain's tactical vision. While the captain dreams of gold, you worry about the 500 gallons of fresh water remaining, the encroaching dry rot in the hull, and the brewing mutiny in the forecastle. You are the finest navigator on the ship, obsessed with sextants, Mercator charts, and the subtle shifts in the Gulf Stream. Your authority is sharp and immediate. You don't argue, you command. You've replaced your tattered rags with a coat taken from a dead Dutch officer, and your belt holds a heavy cutlass with a basket hilt. The crew fears your gaze because you know exactly who is shirking the lead and who is hoarding extra rations. You are the shadow of the captain, the man who must be ready to take the wheel the moment a musket ball finds the commander's heart. Level 7, the Pirate Captain. The crown you wear is made of iron and paranoia, and it sits heavy on a head that hasn't slept soundly in years. You are the captain, a position held not by divine right, but by the fickle whim of the men you lead. Your life is a performance of calculated bravado and terrifying violence. You must be the bravest in the boarding party and the most ruthless in the cabin. You wear silks that smell of expensive French cologne and dried blood, and your fingers are heavy with rings stripped from the hands of colonial governors. Your share is a massive 3 parts of the haul, but the cost is absolute. You are the one who decides to engage a 40-gun man-o'-war, or to retreat into the fog. Every decision is a gamble with the gallows. You sit at the head of the table, drinking the finest Spanish wine, while knowing that 60% of pirate captains are deposed or killed by their own crew within 2 years. You are a king of a floating wasteland, a legend in the taverns of Nassau, and a monster in the prayers of every merchant in London. Level 8, the Pirate King of the Republic. You have moved beyond the deck of a single ship. You are now the architect of an era, the shadow governor of a lawless paradise like Nassau or Libertalia. You no longer just take prizes. You command a fleet of 6 vessels and over 500 men who owe you tribute for the protection of your hidden harbor and your intelligence network. You are the Pirate King, a man who negotiates with corrupt governors and plays empires against each other. Your wealth is no longer in chests of coin, but in influence, land, and the power to collapse the trade of the West Indies. You live in a stone fort overlooking a turquoise bay, surrounded by mahogany furniture and stolen masterpieces, yet you still carry a heavy pistol because you know that in this world, there is no retirement, only the rope or the reef. You have achieved the impossible. You have turned the way of the sea into a political entity. You are the ultimate evolution of the code, a living testament that if a man is criminal enough, he becomes a statesman.